All right, so we're gonna do a rebuild or just repair basically the moving parts on the oil pump. This oil pump is off of a 1998 Indy Ultra. We're doing a full motor rebuild on it. This is just a quick video on how to just, like I said, rebuild the moving parts, the spring lever, the O-ring on the back. We're gonna do new lines and just a quick little video. So first things first is when you're actually doing your oil pump or setting it up on your sled for your oil injection, you'll see it's rusted off now, so you can't really see it, but on the new Tang here, there's a notch there and there's a notch there. At idle, when your throttle is sitting there, you want that first notch here, when it sits on top like that, to line up with the marking right there. There'll be a little groove, there'll be a little marking again. I'm gonna clean this all up once I take it off so you can see it better. And then line that up at idle, and then at full throttle, when you're holding the throttle full, you want that second spring mark right there to be marked and lined up again. If not, you can play with it and adjust it how you like it. It's depending again, but to be safe, you always want them lined up to know that you're getting the exact amount of oil that you need and that you're not gonna run anything lean. So, all right, so the first thing you wanna do, a lot of guys take the spring, try and pick this thing off, get it off. Well, that's not the right thing to do. Take a 10 mil, that size of this bolt right here. I'm using a 12 point. You can use a 6.2 if you're not really confident with it, but I know I've already taken this bolt off, made sure it came off easily. So I'll show you. Put 10 mil on, hold that lever. Just twist off like that. Boom. Okay. So now once you got that broken free, take that off. Now again, I recommend, we bought the nut, the lock, the washer, everything. You know, if you're cheap, you can do whatever you want, but that's how we recommend to do it here. Buy everything, do it right the first time, nut off, take your pieces. If you know this is the first time you're doing it, just be very slow, meticulous with it. Okay, lock ring. Because the other thing I recommend to do is take photos too. Now, this will just pop up. Primary spot. There's a little seized on there. Get a little screwdriver. 1 second. Oh yeah, here she comes. There we go. See, just gotta work it a little bit. It's a little corroded and everything. It's old. This thing, it's a 98 and it's finally coming in for its first rebuild. So now you'll see, look at the spring. The spring tang sits in there and the little hook hooks around that piece right there. So take that off. Now, boom. Now once that's off like that, you'll see the spring. Now this nut here is actually grooved because that drive gear, that's why it's a little corroded. It slides right on there in place so you know where it goes. Now that spring, take that off. Now as well, there'll be a little collar back there, washer. Make sure you put that back on. Put the spring over top of that when you hook it. Put this back in place like that. Hook her in. When you go to do it, I'll show you guys how to do it again. And then hold it in place. It's a little finicky. Boom, she's sitting in. Boom, everything's back together. Now put the nut back on it and then she's ready to go. So now I'll show you how to rebuild it now with the actual new pieces. Okay, take that off, put that in. Now, like I said, you're gonna wanna clean everything up here. I use brake clean, like, you know, you can spray it all over and suck everything up, but again, if you're gonna keep the same lines and everything, it may dry them out. So, depends on what you're gonna do. So I wouldn't recommend that. I just wipe around it. Get a blowgun. Now don't fucking blast the girl, but just, you know, just give her a little blow the dust off, clean it up. Again, these are sealed units in here. You can buy the whole piece from Polaris, this whole thing, but it's expensive too. But we're just rebuilding moving parts because they don't really, they last forever as long as you do these little things. So you can see obviously that was all rusted and gone to shit, so that's why we got new pieces for it. Now this oil seal on the back, when you put them back on, make sure you grease it or put a little bit of oil on it. You know, use 10W40 or whatever. Just get some oil that you have there, throw it on. Just easily slips off. Don't pick at it or anything like that. And then oil it so when you push it back into the lower end of the motor, you line everything up, it doesn't basically gouge the seal and cut it, and then it'll leak from it. So that's off there. That's very easy. Again, now I'm just gonna take, where's that cloth? There's a little brake clean on it. Clean those threads up a bit. Clean everything. Now, so you can see that line now, I hope. I'm gonna try and clean it up as best I can. Now you see that line that's coming down there? I don't know if you guys can, but there's a line that comes down there on this tang, and that's what you line up. When this sits here, you line that up like that. So that's how it works. Lines up at idle, lines up at full. All right. Okay. Get rid of the old pieces. This side. Now the other thing too is make sure you have the same parts. The lever that came off is a 68D. The new one we have is a 68D. You know, go to your Polaris dealer, get all your parts that you need. Nothing like opening pure Polaris bags, that's what I gotta say. Oh wow. Now, you see this? When I open that bag, the spring now, it's all good. We match it up, make sure it's the same, make sure everything's good. But what we notice here is that this lever, the 55MD, it's a different lever. So, what we do, we're not going to use that one. We're going to make sure we got the right one in there. Because sometimes they send you the wrong parts or in a wrong baggie, and guys mess things up. So made sure the springs are the same. Everything's good there. All right. Okay. Where's that camshaft collar? Okay. So take the new washer. Slip it on there, back there. Take the spring, set the spring like that. Alright, lock washer. Okay. So line that up in there correctly like that. Sit it in there on the top tang. Hook the spring in.